So 3 times in a year we celebrate the dedication of a church. One is for the whole world, the dedication of the Lateran Basilica, the Church of Rome, the Pope's Church, the Bishop of Rome's Church. And then as today, we celebrate across the diocese, the diocesan symbol of unity in the cathedral where the bishop has his cathedra. And then once, of course, we celebrate our own churches, the churches where we worship regularly here. We have a dedication celebration. So it's perhaps worth thinking a little about why it is that human beings want to dedicate buildings of worship, places of worship. And I put it like that because, of course, as we hear from the Book of Kings, this is a very long-standing practice going beyond churches, going beyond Christianity. The idea that we build a place in which we ask our deity to come and dwell. So it seems that once we've undertaken to build our building, where we're asking the deity, we're asking God to live, there needs to be some way of activating it as this sort of dwelling. Some places used images to activate as well as the building. So it's as if we're inviting God in. We've built him a house and we're inviting him in. The thing about that, though, is the perspective is that we're doing something for God, where the impetus is from us to say, it'd be really good if you lived with us, because with that comes protection, with that comes prosperity, flourishing. So let's build something for you and ask you to come. But even as Solomon is aware, this has a tension with the whole idea of what God, a deity, is. He says, why the heavens cannot contain you, how much less this temple built by me? Well, quite. And the prayers that are offered in this place to God, who's been asked to come and dwell, actually should rise up to heaven, because that's where God is what Solomon's saying. Whenever they pray, the people of Israel, pray in this place, listen from the place where you reside in heaven. So always this tension between the transcendent and the real, if you like, the experiential, the empirical. This tension is actually also seen in other aspects of the Old Testament where people go to find God in places that are not the temple. There's always been places, locations, that have felt that the barrier between the visible and the invisible world is much thinner. A place where you can go to get close to God, whether it be a high place, whether it be a mountain, or whether it be a place where a certain event has happened. In the Old Testament, we see that Jacob, of course, when he has his dream at Bethel, sets up stone in the place, because that is a place where his dream has made him see that place is where I've been able to enter the invisible world. Sinai, of course, where the law is given to Moses, the mountain on which God dwells. That's not come from the people, that is just an experience they've had. Shiloh, one of the earliest places where they build some sort of temple because of the sense of gathering there that they have been called to by God. So, and in our modern time, we can think of apparitions of Our Lady. Lourdes, for example, could be brought alongside this sort of idea. Fatima, Guadalupe, or in Poland, the images of the Sacred Heart. All these sorts of things. There's a reason why a certain location is the place to go. It's not the impetus from us to say, God, please come and dwell in what I've made, but God coming close to us. In the growing preference, which we see in the pages of the Old Testament, though, the growing preference for the temple to be the preferred place, might indicate, no, this human desire to control our God, control the deity, and keep him for ourselves. Because if he's dwelling in the temple in Jerusalem, then he's protecting us. He's supporting us against other nations, against other peoples. And this we see in the dynamic when Jesus speaks to the Samaritan woman in John chapter 4, because she thinks that her location, her temple, her place where she gets close to God is not in Jerusalem. It's in Mount Gerizim. And still to this day, that is the difference of opinion among the very small group of Samaritans that still live. So Jesus' conversation with her is to bring her and all of us out of that, one might say, acquisitory mentality of trying to hold on to God. The hour is coming when neither on this mountain nor in Jerusalem will you worship the Father. Because it's not about us inviting God to come to a particular place, but us responding to the God who has come close to us. And we see then in this growth in the Old Testament, the pages of the Old Testament, to the moment of the fullness of time when Jesus comes, a divine pedagogy, an education of people about what it means to be close to God, what it means for God to live among us. The impetus does not come from us inviting God or building something for him. It comes from God wanting to be close to us. That is God's love. And again, John in his letter summarizes this teaching. In this is love, not that we have loved God, but that he loved us and sent his Son to be the propitiation for our sins.